It takes a village to raise a child is an old African proverb, but I don't necessarily see a village here among these sisters and mother, or even in this family, period. I definitely get a sense, again, that they're just completely separated. On this episode review of the Braxtons, it takes a village, but where is the community? Where is the friendship? It's all separated. And yeah, I promised myself I'm gonna do a whole review of this season, but I gotta tell you, it's not really looking good for this family. Before we get into all of that, hi, my name is Tanisha. I welcome to my channel. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you stay updated when new videos are uploaded. I talk about all things media, TV, and also books as well too. So stay tuned for those videos. And you know what, let's just dive right on in because I got a lot to say about this episode. Looking at my notes right now. All right, so we start off the episode with Toni and her mother talking about, what happened with her show. Toni's talking about how she's not haven't been feeling too good. She's worried about Toni Braxton's Las Vegas residency with Cedric the Entertainer, which does very well. But they're just talking back and forth, having conversation, and so Toni talks about how this was a lighthearted part where she's going to be doing jokes along with Cedric, and so her mom's like, Miss Evelyn was like, maybe you should stick to singing. And she tries to do one of the jokes with one waiter, and then it's like, yeah, it's not working out. This, but you know. Mhm. And mainly Toni is scared because of her lupus. Toni has lupus, which attacks her heart. It's an autoimmune disease which attacks her heart. So she's having a lot of problems with that as well too, which is why it's good that she's doing a co-presidency with Cedric, because that way, in case she gets sick, he can kind of take over and help her out. That was a fun, lighthearted part of the episode, but you can tell it's heavily scripted with this whole season anyway. And speaking of heavily scripted, we go on and talk about Carlos King and Tamar. So they're doing a setup of the Carlos King interview that Tamar Braxton did with him, and talk about what we're going to be talking about on the show and everything. So we'll go into that. But before we do that, though, they then skip back. Can I just say the editing on this show is really, really bad. It just bounces around to too many different things, and as it goes from one sister to the other sister back, it's just completely disconnected. Which, to be fair, though, is, I mean, on point with what the sisters are. So we jump from the Carlos King Tamar Braxton back to Toni in LA. I believe she's in LA. She's doing a dress rehearsal for the Broadway show. She's getting fitted for outfits and whatnot. So she's talking to her team about she wants to find mommy a man and everything. And that was what they talked about also at the lunch they had. And it's so overly produced, guys. No, Miss Evelyn says she's 49 and holding, but she's closer to 70. Like at that point in your life, no offense to all my 7-year-olds who are watching this, are you really even looking for a man? Maybe what's the word I'm looking for? Like a sweetheart. A sweetheart. Every now and then they come over, you have dinner with them and whatnot, but you ain't necessarily looking for a husband, are you? I mean, all due respect, none of the Braxtons can really keep a man. I mean, Tamar Braxton just recently divorced her third husband. Tawanda, I mean, she's still waiting to exhale. Trina's married, but the way that Trina and Bone talk to each other, I don't know if that's going to survive. Toni just got out of engagement with Birdman. So it's like the blind leading the blind. Like, do you really want your stars to set you up on a date? And you can definitely tell Miss Evelyn is super, super picky. But more on that later, because we're going to go right back now to the Carlos King, the actual interview, where Tamar talks about, she asks a lot of questions about her family. And so Carlos King does a good job. He talks about how she was the breakout star, which she was on the Braxton Family Values. And did it cause a lot of was it the show the cause for her family tension, or was there always that tension? It's like, well, no, they got along pretty well, but the show created a lot of tension because a lot of the spotlight was on her. And also, she kind of skips around the fact that she said a lot of mean, nasty things about the sisters during her, in between interviews and whatnot. And so that caused a lot of tension as well, too. She doesn't bring that up. And she also says that for her relationship with her family, she regrets it, but for the culture wise, she doesn't regret because she felt like for the culture, the black culture, we needed to see this. I'm just like, let me ask you something. Comment down below if you feel like the culture needed the Braxton family values. Did we really need to see five grown women arguing back and forth with each other all the time? Do we really need to see the backstabbing? Do we really need to see that? I mean, they had their lighthearted moments, but it was always some drama. Did we really need that? Now, the one part of the Carlos King interview that I really did like with Tamar was that she talks about her relationship with Vince and how when she met him, she was really young, she's only 26, and how when you grow up with someone, you tend to sometimes grow apart, which I believe can actually happen. So talks about the Braxtons, obviously the show they're currently taping for, and she's stating that she's a friend to the show. Hmm. She is a friend, even though she's a family member, she's a friend to the show. And the reason why she's doing this is to protect her mental health. Because she does acknowledge that reality TV is really not healthy for her. And a friend to the show, but yet you're a producer and executive producer on the show. How'd that work out? I mean, here's the thing. I think a lot of us in the room have been asking, like, why are the Braxtons coming back? I don't think this is a show that really needed to come back. I don't. I mean, I think if anything, they were doing better without it. But you know what? Who am I to tell grown women how to pay their bills? I mean, let's be honest. Tamar keeps talking about this album that's coming out. I've heard a couple of singles, and it's not like. Toni obviously doing her residency, so she's fine. She doesn't need the show, but obviously she wants to help out her family, so she's willing to do that. I do feel like, in a way, the Braxton show has really brought down the reputation and the image of Toni Braxton as well too. I don't feel like this is a very good show for the family as a whole. It's not just for Tamar. I don't think the Braxtons should have come back. Period, because it's obvious that they're all not in a good place. But more on that in a minute because we're going to now go to the next scene where Miss Evelyn and her friends are having girl talk. I mean, it's a cute scene. Honestly, this is what I wanted the Braxton sister. I wanted this. I wanted them to all be around the table talking, laughing, kikiing, ha-ha. This is what we wanted from them. But, Miss Evelyn wants to be part of the family franchise as well, too. I mean, you can definitely tell Miss Evelyn loves the attention. I mean, let's be clear, Tamar and Miss Evelyn are the exact same person. They're the old, yes. Yes, yes. Let me rephrase that again. Tamar and Miss Evelyn are basically the same person. In 30 years from now, Tamar will be Miss Evelyn. Let's be truthful. And it's nice to see talking to their own people, but Miss Evelyn's storyline is so fabricated. It's so overly produced. And she does eventually go out on a date with this young gentleman. And she's so picky. I don't really see Miss Evelyn actually wanting to find love again. I just think she's doing it for her storylines. The way she has something to talk about as well, too. So there you go. Just messy. Also, let me go from that scene to Toni Braxton's son Denim being a model. Now, can I just say, y'all are messy in the comments. I actually read a comment that said, Lord, Denim is looking more and more like Babyface every day. Now, y'all know Toni was married to a guy from Mint Condition and they had two kids together. But everyone always said that Toni and Babyface had a great relationship because Babyface was so instrumental early on in Toni's career. But y'all messy for that. I don't see it. I really don't. And Toni wants to actually manage Denim's career, but Denim's like, I love you, mom, but I don't want a momager because Toni definitely looks like the overbearing type because literally as they were taking pictures and whatnot, she pushes Denim out of the way to look at the photos herself. And it's a black mama thing. I get it, but I agree with Denim. Like, if he's to grow as a celebrity on his own, he can't have his mom managing his career. So yeah, another lighthearted moment, and then we get back to the heavy stuff. Okay, so they do show some behind the scenes footage of Kevin Jr. filming with the grief counselor, and then they say that he was on the phone talking to a lady during like one of the lunch breaks, and Kevin Jr. has another seizure. And so I don't even want to go any further with the show. I just want Kevin Jr. off the show. I don't feel like this is very good for him. He's not, I don't think he wants to be a celebrity. He's just doing this to go along with the family because he doesn't want to get in trouble with his aunties. And I do believe that his aunties are forcing this on him, especially Tawanda, because Tawanda desperately needs a storyline. You don't really see her with her kids. You don't really see her with her somewhat boyfriend and fiance. We don't even know what he is. And I don't like it. I don't like the fact that they're using him for a storyline. Because then, Miss Evelyn, Trina, and Tawanda all sitting talking to him in a hotel room. And it's like, why is he in an hotel room? Why isn't he at one of your guys' homes? Why isn't he around his family? You keep telling us that it takes a village and we should be there for him. Then why aren't you there for him? Not even the cameras are on, but when they're off. So, honestly, that's all I got to say about this episode. It was not a good episode. I gave it a 5 out of 10 as far as my final thoughts. And as I said at the beginning, it takes a village, but where is the village? Where is it? Where is the village? There is no village, and that is the clear answer. These sisters are obviously very separated. Obviously, Toni is off doing her own thing. But here's the thing. You make time for the things in life that you want to make time for. It's quite clear to me that they're just doing this just to do it. And they keep saying that they came back because Tracy wanted us to do this. But I'm really starting to question that now as well, too. Why would Tracy want you guys to do this? It was quite obvious that they were doing better with the cameras off. And like I said, I can't tell grown women how to pay their own bills. And I'm just a spectator. I'm outside looking in. For all we know, they could be making this whole thing up. Allegedly. I'm going to say that, allegedly. So that's all I got on this episode. Nothing more to say. 5 out of 10. Final thoughts. What were your thoughts on the episode? Comment down below. Let's keep the conversation going. See you next time. Bye.